What's up, YouTube fans? Today I'm reviewing the X-Transbots Overheat, their version of Dragstrip. So I got this a little while ago, but I had some problems, so I'm going to show that to you during the review. But here's the box. You get a nice image again, once again on the animation of the figure. I also get a new saying here, if everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough. That's actually kind of cool. I don't know. The other ones have been kind of weird. Here's the back of the box. You get that, lightning kind of effect. Here's the side of the box. You get a little bio. I'm not going to read that. And then you get his tech specs there. And then on the bottom, you've got a render and the name of the bot on the top. And that's really it for the box. And here you have the figure in vehicle mode. And it is a very, very nice looking vehicle. It is actually based off of a real vehicle. A real Indy race car that had, the 6 wheels. I forgot the name of it. Maybe I'll put a link in the description below. But I think it looks really good. Here's kind of the side view. And here's it from the back. It looks like you got the engine in there in the middle. Here's top view. And it does come with this driver. I personally don't really like it, but the good news is you can take them out. So you just basically pull them out there, and you can close that up, and you get rid of them. I wish it was more of a hologram driver and not this guy, because it just kind of looks weird to me. His colors. Prefer it without it. But that's really it for the vehicle mode. There's one accessory that does fit. So this is his gun on the bottom here. And it does fit into the bottom of the vehicle mode. You just kind of squeeze that in. You can also turn the handle there, and then it'll fit right in there. Like that. And I don't know. I just find that to be a little dumb. So I prefer to put it on the bottom. It does kind of fit a little strangely, but you can get it in there. Just a tight fit. There you go. So here's some comparisons. First, let's take a look at the G1 cartoon. And I think this is a pretty good representation of Dragstrip. They got the colors pretty well down. They got the wheels and everything. I think it's a good looking vehicle. My only gripe is maybe this driver, but you can take it out, so it's not even a gripe because you can remove him. So getting back to the figure, I do love the wheels. You've got these really nice slicks. They're thick and hard, so I don't know if it's solid rubber or if it's plastic underneath, but it looks good and it feels good. It feels like real slicks, so I like that. I like the rims, the way they're colored and the way they're painted. It looks really good. Same with the engine detail. This piece right here feels like die cast. I'm not sure, maybe it's not, but that feels really good and it looks really good. Same on the back here. Everything is really clean on this robot. Everything looks nice in the vehicle mode. That doesn't mean it's perfect, and we're going to get into some of the issues with this figure, but right now in vehicle mode, it does look pretty good. It does roll really nicely, very smooth, and it's got that nice heavy feel. It does have die cast in it, and you'll be able to tell a little bit more in robot mode, but these legs are definitely die cast. Let's get him in with his brother here. Their version of, they call him Death Wish. And I think they look good together, but both of these are pretty good looking vehicles. I definitely like this one a lot more, just because of some of the transformation. We'll get into that a little bit later, but in terms of the actual vehicle, they're both really good. They both are very reminiscent of the G1 cartoon and also very reminiscent of the actual vehicles they're trying to represent, and that's what I'm looking for in my Transformers. I like both. I like having the real world look, but also I want to have it look like the cartoon. So this is perfect for me in terms of vehicle mode. For another comparison, let's bring in the MMC's version of Mirage, and this is the only other, and he's literally the same size. Even the wheels are almost the exact same width. It's kind of crazy. So everything about it, it's like it just looks really good. I mean, it looks like it fits right in with the other IndyCar. So I love that. This is still a good figure. It's a little bit loose, but still a very nice figure. So let's get that out of here. So in terms of his other vehicles from the Menasor line or their Stunticon line, I think he fits in perfectly. Very good vehicle. There's not really any other features. You do have the roll bar here, and this actually is one of the things that broke, so I'm going to go over that in a little bit. But it does move here. You got a little bit of movement on that. It's a very, very thin plastic, so mine actually broke right here, if you can see that. So I did glue it, and that's, you know, somewhat unfortunate. So you can get in close on that. Right there. And, you know, I expect this to last a little bit better than that. I don't think it should break from just transformation, but it did. So no other features in vehicle mode. So let's get this guy transformed into robot mode. All right, the first thing we're going to do is kind of open up things. So you're going to kind of break it right there, and you're also going to open these up here. Just be careful with these. This is where I had a little breakage earlier, so you can kind of open these up and just leave them to the side. Try not to put too much pressure on the gray. Just put the pressure on these pieces instead. Right, those pieces are a little bit stronger. Okay, so just leave them to the side for now. Once you have this broken open, you have to kind of separate the tabs right here, and I don't really like that because you're stressing the plastic, but there's really no other way to do it. Once you do that, you kind of pull away, you reveal the head there. You can bend these forward just a little bit, and that'll allow you to release these arms. So these are pegged in on the back here. So you're going to just release those from the back, and they're just pegged in right there. Same on this side, just release that from the back and just leave that back for now. I guess we'll finish it off. So fold that arm in, and there's a tab right there, and then that's going to go meet up. So you got to push this whole piece down, and that's going to tab in. That's one arm. Same on the other side. Fold that over. Make sure you're actually folding it so that it comes flush. Like that. Push this handle down, and then tab it together. And those are two arms kind of done. We're going to leave them right where they are for now. Okay, now we're going to pull the legs apart. And this is where things are kind of tricky. Actually, first you can pull the gun off. You don't need the gun in there anymore. Now you can separate all of this. So basically release this engine from here. And that's just tabbed in. It's not really attached or anything. You can just detach these two sides. And then you can pull the legs apart like that. And now this should come loose. Okay. Now, you can probably just tuck this away for now, so let's just do that. Fold the sides of the engine in. And I love the way this looks. It's very nicely painted. And then push this into there and close that, and let's leave that there for now. So next you want to get these legs kind of sorted out here. And they are a little tricky, but you can get it done. So you want to get this panel, I'll turn this around, get this panel right here out, and if you need a tool, you can use a tool, but basically you want to fold this out. And then there's also a panel on the other side, so we're going to get that all sorted too. So you want to open this wheel right here, and now you can open this front panel there, and that kind of finishes off the leg. And now you can kind of get this folded up. There you go. And that's going to fit right in there. So So now you can get this whole leg kind of sorted up, and it is kind of tight. You sort of have to work it over there. And so there's 2 tabs, one there and one on this piece here. There you go. So you just press those 2 tabs in. You can fold this foot to the front. You're going to fold this piece to the back. That's the heel spur right there. And that is pretty much one leg done. So same thing on the other side. I'm going to do this one a little bit quicker, but fold out this panel, fold the wheel down, fold out that panel, put the foot forward, put this back in here so that it sits flat like that. And be careful with these back pieces. They're actually kind of fragile, these here. So same thing, fold this downwards and it should fit. There we go. So those are the feet all done. Oh, we forgot to flip this one around. So there are the legs all done. Now we can get working on the arms and the back. So fold this top panel all the way down for now. And you want to swing these arms around, and it's kind of a weird transformation. I don't know why they chose to do this, but you basically want to switch these. And it's easiest if you have everything kind of folded out like this, but basically fold that arm out and fold this arm the other way. And now they should fit. Okay. Now you can push this in, and there is a slot here. It fits into a tab underneath his chest, so you can just kind of push that in. You'll see it, you'll feel it kind of click in. And now you can sort out the arms. Just put them down. And here's where I had a problem, right here. You'll see it's cracked right there. I'll talk about that in a little bit after we're done with transformation, but clearly there's a problem there with clearance. This side was a little bit better, but this side definitely broke. I may actually end up shaving a little bit off there, but right now, let's just finish the transformation. All right. So now this part's a little bit tricky, so you want to rotate these down, rotate to the side, and then you can rotate it all the way back up, and it should just fit in like that. So you have it kind of tucked in there. Same with this side, rotate that. You kind of have to get it past here, and then rotate it around, and it should sit. And the whole thing's going to tuck into the back here. You kind of got to get it folded correctly. It's a little bit tricky, but you can get it in there. And it all fits up into there. So, okay. So this back peak here is, you want to be careful. I'll just show you. It bends that way pretty easily, but there's a little bit of extra plastic right there on the end, so it's kind of hard to fold it the other direction. And so people have been shaving a little bit. I did actually shave some paint. You can kind of see I shaved some paint off there. So it does fit a little bit better, but you want to be careful. If you're not going to shave it, then you have to just be very careful about pushing that. But you want to fold that like that. And then this whole backpack is going to fit into the back here. It doesn't really fit very securely. There are 2 tabs right here on the side, right there, and on the other side as well. They don't fit very securely, and I mean, actually this whole top chest piece just doesn't feel good. It doesn't really sit in very nicely. And the instructions aren't really clear about this part here with these back pieces. I like to kind of fold them in just so they're out of the way and they're not poking, but you got to be careful with this. So you can kind of get them like that, and now they're sort of out of the way. They're not sticking downwards and just, being ugly. But just be careful with these pieces. I did break one right there, so just don't put a lot of force on those in general. So we fold the arms down, and I think we are done with this guy. So here I have Overheat all transformed up, and he looks pretty good. It's definitely a good looking bot, but it definitely has its faults. It doesn't feel as good as some of the other ones we've gotten, and I'm going to kind of go over why. Some of the main issues I have is this backpack is just kind of floppy and flimsy. The fact that this arm broke right here, you can see the crack right there. That's not really great. And that was just by regular transformation. I didn't do anything crazy or break it. I did break it, but I didn't do anything beyond the normal transformation. It just broke. So that's kind of some of my issues. And then of course some of the joints are a little bit loose here and there. These back here are kind of unsightly, and also they get in the way. Just gotta be careful, make sure you don't actually bend something around it. In terms of looks, it really does look good. He definitely fits the part. I think he was $70 something off of eBay. My guy Baba Bobo. I'm still buying all my stuff from him. The link will be in the description below if you want to buy from him as well. His prices are pretty much unmatched. He's the best I've found out there in terms of prices. Now, it does take a while to get here from China, but if you're willing to wait and you don't want it like right away, you can get it a lot cheaper. You can take it apart. There's a button right here, and you can basically pull them apart. This is really meant for the combined mode, so we'll take a look at that once we get all the combined mode parts with their version of Motor Master. But right now we don't really have any of that, so there's no point in looking at the combined mode stuff. This is another failing here, is these hip skirts just pop off very easily. There's nothing really holding them on. It's kind of just friction. So yeah, so this guy, all in all, he looks good, but in terms of quality, he's just shy of being, as good as the others that have come out. He does seem to have a lot of loose stuff. So let's take a look at the gun. You do have this gun. You just pull out this, and it does fit in like every other Masterpiece figure, so we're just gonna put this in, and here he is with the gun, and it fits fine. The gun itself is a little bit loose, the parts on it, but it looks good. I like the design of their gun and the paint. There's a lot of paint on this too. That's one of the positives on this, is there's paint pretty much everywhere, all along the back. These pieces here, these are die cast, those are painted. These are die cast, those are painted inside the thighs. I'm noticing this is pretty loose. Maybe I can tighten that up somehow, but there's no ratchets there in any direction. They're all just friction joints. And he's got plenty of paint on the arms, on the chest, so that's a good thing. I think they did a good job with the paint. So let's go over articulation with this guy. The head is on a ball joint. You can tighten it up by tightening that screw, but it's fine. It does have plenty of up, plenty of down, and it rotates all the way around. The arm rotates all the way around, and it's on a swivel. It's a little bit loose, but you can tighten it. Now here's where you've got two screws back here, one here and one here. If you tighten those screws, you can tighten up that joint, but I am afraid over time that this is going to loosen. It's already loose because of the crack I've got there. I am probably getting a replacement part there from Baba Bobo, but still, I'm not happy that broke. It shouldn't have broke. But anyway, you do get the full rotation there and the full movement outwards here. You do get a double jointed elbow all the way up to there. You get a rotation at the wrist, and you get the single pinned hand right there. You do get a waist rotation, a really good ab crunch, and as you know, this thing comes apart for combined mode, so I'm not going to do that again. You do have a hip skirt here that folds up and allows the leg to go out to there. I don't know, things don't feel great in there. That's kind of why I'm pausing myself. It goes back to there. It's hindered by this, and there's really no way around it. That's pretty much all it goes. It goes all the way up to there, so plenty of movement outwards. Do have a ratcheted knee, single jointed. There's a little bit of play down here, just because of the way it's designed. I don't really like that. It's another issue with this figure. You do have a toe tilt and pivot. There's nothing really on the back. You do have this hip skirt here, so that helps to stabilize, but he's a little bit off balance because of the way his feet are designed, and there's not really a good way to adjust for that. So you kind of got to, really just be very patient with your posing, but you can get him in some good poses. So plenty of articulation for this guy, just some issues with quality. So here he is with the rest of the team, and obviously they do all look good together. I think he's probably still my favorite just because of the car and like the look. It was so well done. I kind of really like this guy too. I didn't think I would, but he's now my second favorite over Crack Up, because Crack Up, the color just kind of is off-putting. I want to get this painted, but it would be a full repaint to make it white. But this is definitely the weakest of all of them in terms of quality, in terms of the engineering, and just overall. Like I think they rushed on this. But that's not to say he doesn't look good with his counterparts, and who knows what the combined mode is. I'm a little worried about combined mode because we're seeing some, weakness in some of the figures, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm hoping that the quality is, maintained with their version of the Motormaster. So let's take a quick look at the G1 cartoon. And I think people will say that this does definitely look like the G1 cartoon. Is very reminiscent of the original. And I think that's where X-Transbots have mastered, right? The art of making it look like the cartoon without making it look ugly. Because there is a point of too much toon, and I think they have a good balance here, right? These vehicles all look like the vehicles, but yet they still, are reminiscent enough of the cartoon in robot mode and in vehicle mode. I know people are going to ask about this, so let's just show this. Here he is with the Fans Toys Motormaster, and it does look good. It's obviously too small compared to the Fans Toys, but I'm excited to see what they do. At this point in the game, it's going to be tough for me to not get the entire Fans Toy set just because of the quality and the build we got on this guy. But we'll see. For the price that we're getting for these X-Transbots figures, I think they've got something here. The only other accessory you do get is the face here. So here is the original face that was on it. Here's the alternate face. It's just a little more defined. I'm not going to put this on. It's not really worth it. You can just kind of see the mouth is it's a little less definition. You also get an alternate head sculpt for Skids. So here is the original head sculpt for Skids. Come on. And you can see it's kind of missing a little bit of definition. So actually what we'll do is get both of these guys' faces switched out so you can see them both. So here they are with the alternate faces. We got the less defined face on their Overheat and the more defined face on their Savant. So let's just zoom in here. And you can see, the mouth has kind of got less definition. And then this guy, I've got the more defined face, and his mouth is a little bit more defined. His features and his nose and his face have a little bit more definition. I don't know why you'd use the faces with less definition. They just don't seem to make sense to me. I think I prefer the more defined faces. So final thoughts wise, this is a mixed bag. So I kind of have to recommend him because these three were pretty darn good, and you know, if you've started this set, you pretty much are going to want this, right? You got to complete your set. They look good together. They're a good group. I like the sculpt of them. The problem is this has a lot of engineering issues. There's a lot of weak pieces, weak parts. There's, you know, tolerances that have problems. Some of the paint is not, you know, perfect or great, like right here. There are some issues with this figure. Of all of the set, this is the one that has the most issues. And then, you know, this breaking, a lot of people broke that. I broke these. You know, there's too many issues, right? And at this point in the game, X-Transbots can't afford to be putting out figures that break when you transform them. Because this is going to become a combiner, and if it's going to break or stress in robot mode, what are the chances it's going to survive when you put it in combined mode, right? You're getting a lot rougher with it. For example, these parts here, you know, what are these going to do? They're going to stick out. Potentially you're going to knock them off or break them as you're manipulating things and putting it onto the combined mode, right? Those are the kind of things that worry me about this set. You know, is it going to work? Is it going to be able to combine? I think the answer might be this won't be the best combined mode. And I'm okay with that. I think maybe just bot mode is where these shine, and maybe that's it. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like, but just the fact that these split in half already, you kind of have a little bit of concern about, you know, what's this going to look like? Is it going to be stable? Is it going to break? So do I recommend it? Yes. You know, this set as a whole, I recommend, and therefore I need to recommend Overheat. Just be careful. There is some, you know, fixing, customizing you need to do to make sure you don't break things. But overall, for the price, I think it's a good buy, and for the set, I think it's a good set. I don't know what their Bonemaster is going to be. It's going to be pretty hard to beat the Fans Toys figure. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this guy, don't feel free to leave a message down below. And if you're interested in buying this guy, you can buy it from Baba Bobo on eBay. The link is also down below. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.